Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu, ma tell them. Is that you?
And the season's a wrap.
This is episode 344 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu is where you can get early access to the video version of this podcast, where you can get access to the Patreon exclusive podcast, the F Stories. We can get access to the pre-show to this episode 2 days before this episode airs for everybody else on all podcast services. Shout out to the Patreon producers that keep the lights on explicitly. Cat the Pro from Chaotic Culture Podcast, Fear, Semi Sensei, Frozen. We still ain't get Frozen's sleeper, but that's okay. T Money, fingers. Dad needs to talk. Take out Dad needs to talk podcast. Christian, the archivist, aka Death Scythe. All for one Matt, Rob Stone, Matthew H. the Great, and last but certainly not least, TK does detective work. Thank you so much for producing this and many episodes of the podcast. We truly couldn't do it without you. It means the world to us that you want to support us. Mic Check Waifu is the anime podcast is brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. We bring you anime seasonal topics, discussions, and reviews. Speaking of reviews, next week is the review of this end of the season show that we pick at the end of the season, which this time it is Journal with Witch. So Journal with Witch, spoiler alert for our review. It's a great show. Is going to be the review next week. So when we're talking about the wrap of the season anime this week, we're not going to mention Journal with Witch because that is going to basically be a whole half of an episode next week. So be prepared for that. Now, without further ado, let's do further tell. As we start off every episode of Mic Check Waifu, what is your episode of the week in the week of 3/29? Your birthday coming up.
Yeah, it's right there. It's, what, Friday? Brother. Because it's not hard, all right? There's a couple that I think just really stood out because they are what they are. Mm-hmm. I know this is very typical of Tell.
Okay.
So it is what it is. I don't care.
It is what it is.
I just loved Oshinoko's finale.
Ooh. Yeah, heater, absolute heater. Speaking of heater, my episode of the week was Fire Force. Yeah, there's a lot I can say about that, and we will. Towards probably the back half of the show, we're going to talk about like the spoilers of Fire Force and Oshinoko and like just the overall thoughts of the shows with spoilers. It's towards the end of the show, so we'll give you the warning obviously beforehand. But that. For the most part this week though, we're gonna talk generalities of like the shows we've watched in the end of the season and the season as a total. So let me just say this. I will say this season, let's talk the podcast this season, right? The episodes of this podcast. I feel like the episodes of this podcast for particularly the winter season has sparked some crazy fun conversations in particular, right?
Yes.
So what I'm mentioning right specifically right now is like the conversations again what we talked about last couple of weeks with Dad Needs to Talks mentioning past creator works and stuff like that. He also clarified that he was just mentioning that for the sake of our Discord, but it didn't end up making us want to have the conversation for everybody else, all the new listeners that we have that we get around the time of a new season that don't understand how we do it. So it was great for us to clarify that with the idea, with piggybacking off the idea of Dad Needs to Talk's comment about that. But he said he mostly did that for the Discord. He understands how this podcast works. So I just wanted to make sure I was clear to everybody else too. But about us basically not using the past creators' work. Let's say Oda is coming out with a new anime and it's coming out this season. everybody like it's done by Oda, so it's going to be great. That's not how we look at it. Period. If it's done by Oda and we assume that it doesn't matter if it was done by Oda or not. We're going to watch it first and determine on if it's going to be great or not before we decide that. So that's basically the example of how we do the podcast. We talked about that in the last couple of weeks, so check out those other episodes. But as a whole, I think this season has sparked deeper conversations in a realm of the way we discuss seasonal shows. And that's happened quite a bit. The anime slop conversation, which check out the pre-show. We just went a little bit more into that with Rob Stone's comment from the previous week because he was catching up. But that conversation was fantastic. I'm trying to recall some of the other conversations we had that was in like that deeper sphere. I know Mazer gave us some, I think, if I remember correctly. Was it Winter?
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely the slop conversation. We did the seasonal conversation.
There was was it? I think it was Mazer during the winter. Was that during the winter season when we talked the plot conversation? That one was my favorite.
Yep.
That plot conversation this winter season was my favorite out of all the ones we had.
I'm trying to see how far back that one was. But yes, that was another really good conversation that what's being brought out in the conversation is just stuff that and I'll say what is unique about how we do it, right? Because we are seasonal anime. The luxury to us is the amount of anime that we consume that we can kind of sift through.
Yeah.
Which I say as a luxury, but it really just means that we're consuming a ton of anime relatively, and it could be more frequently than others. Whereas some people may take like one really big anime per season, and that's their talking point throughout the entire season, right?
Yeah.
And that's that could be another afforded luxury for some other podcasts, depending on what the conversational pieces are. But that does seem to be like how, because of how we structure our podcast with the seasonal breakdowns and topics that go around some of these seasonal anime, it does lean into that slop conversation, the how the production value goes and different works and timing, even because like I would even say it often seems, while like for instance we always have, I'm not gonna say we always do, but going into like from like fall into winter season, there's always seems to be like some really good anime. And we get into the beginning of the year, there's some really good anime always in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But it also tends to be a very chill season.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I would love to like one day break down the trends that we see in these specific seasons. What tends to be like the most popular genre even during a season? Like when does slice of life hit the hardest? When does action hit the hardest?
I think we did something like that before, actually. As I was scrolling up in the notes, I saw top trends. I don't know if that was in reference to like the same kind of conversation, but I think what you're referring to, or what we could take from that idea, is taking the chance to see what season has the most. I think what I'm hearing you trying to say is what season has the most popular shows that drop, right? So is that what you're saying? So for instance, like they decided to drop this here during this time because they feel like this is when the most people will be watching the show.
Right.
Okay, got you. That's what you're saying. Okay. And I do feel like maybe that's particularly the case for this season. I mean, you think of winter 2026, right? JJK, Freerun, Hell's Paradise, Senses to Be a Hero, Oshinoko, Fire Force. That alone makes it seem like this is the season where people would say, it's like video games, right? Video games don't come out during January. Usually that's typically the case. It's normally around summer to fall is when video games really release,
because of seasons where buying it,
exactly. So finding that for anime would be a cool idea.
And it is interesting because it almost seems like it could be more beneficial even, right, to drop really good anime in the beginning of the year to give more people time to watch it and let it ramp up throughout the year.
Yeah. And what we mean by beginning of the year is anime seasons fall weird. Winter falls like way late December and then go into the new year of 20. Like, so for instance, 2025. But dude, just even thinking about this now is I went to 2025. Winter 2025, Solo Leveling Season 2, Sakamoto Days, Apothecary Diaries, Dr. Stone, Zenshu. That's really it for that particular winter as far as like the newest, most popular shows. Let's go one more back, 2024. Solo Leveling Season 1, Delicious in Dungeon, Mashal, it was popular, Classroom of the Elite, Signs of Affection. This is probably one of the weaker ones because, I mean, Tsukimichi, that's another very, very popular one. 7 Time Loop, that was popular for us, but I don't know about universally popular. Ninja Kamui. And then 2023, Vinland Saga Season 2, Attack on Titan, the final end, Part 6 or whatever it was. It seemed like everybody wanted to get out of the way of Attack on Titan, so not much released that year.
Angel Quite reasonable as well.
Yeah, Angel Next Door spoiling me rotten. You gotta, so think about it like this. In the video game space, nobody's coming out when GTA is coming out in November. Like nobody, like I guarantee you Call of Duty fucking skips a year or whatever the case may be.
That would be the smartest move for them.
Yeah, so in the same case is here. 2022 winter, Demon Slayer, The Entertainment District, Attack on Titan season, the final season, Part 2. My Dress Up Darling. Everything else, get the fuck out the way. Like that's exactly what it feels like here again. Oh, Jobless Reincarnation Core 2 that season as well. Then going back to 2021. So
yeah, it's just like album releases. It's just like game releases. You don't want to release around the time that some crazy big show is going to be releasing or taking up all the bandwidth for everybody.
Unless you're 2026. Because if you're 2026, apparently I don't give a fuck. JJK. JJ said, JJK said, I'm going to drop when Freeman drops. I don't care. I'm going to drop when Hell's Paradise drop. I don't care.
I'm going to drop when Oshinoko drop.
Yep. Fire Force.
I'm going to drop when Fire Force drop. What you mean? I don't care if it's their final season. I'm going to drop anyway. Okay.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And they banged it out this season. Those were some. They did not disappoint, in my opinion,
at all. It's ironic though for us to be a seasonal show and we kind of go through stuff like this to see. Man, there's times where it just pops off like that.
I also think our conversation flow has shifted a bit. Where normally for these big shows we do a little bit more spoiler talk and whatnot. And the great thing with like the seasonal topics that we've been having, or the more introduction of some of these topics, we have foregone the spoiler talk, which let us know if you miss it or not. I do think that not necessarily avoiding, but taking out the spoiler point has created a different flow to the show, which I think is a bit more consistent, but also may even be a bit more of a surprise to like listeners. So it is nice to have a change of pace that you might not be accustomed to, just to get a little bit a shift in the energy for the podcast.
Very good point. Very good point. That we did do that this winter season where we just didn't do it as much. And it wasn't on purpose, right? Like it was just something that kind of naturally happened, which I enjoy about it. But again, like Tel said, if you miss it, let us know. I do notice that though. You can notice it when you look at the numbers of the podcast, because our numbers are great. Speaking of that, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for that. But when we don't have the spoiler talk, there's not a lot of going back. So usually, like if I look at last season compared to this season, there's episodes from last season that get, a few hundred plays well after, what I'm saying, the later episodes come out. You know what I'm saying? Like well after. And it's probably people going back to listen to the spoilers. I know we used to get that a lot. So while it's not as beneficial to us as a podcast number wise, I still think it's pretty cool that like the shift is, you can see the shift in when we doing it. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool. Anything else for the winter that has changed for this particular season for us as a podcast? I would say, I'm shocked that we didn't have more antagonists this season, because there's times where it could have came, especially for a show in particular that we shall not.
Yeah, I also think that so we did have some antagonistic talk, right?
We did, yeah.
But I do think that for the most part, we
tapered it.
We managed to forego that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we brought the topic in. Mind you, we did bring it for like 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 episodes straight.
Yeah.
But while we leaned into it, we didn't. I don't think we people's elbowed it, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it does. Totally.
But I will say, with all that being said, we definitely could have antagonized it. I think part of the reason for antagonist though is that, like I said, our disconnect from some of the social media platforms for the most part. I haven't seen a lot of conversation around Sentenced to Be a Hero.
Me either. Outside of like the one, maybe 2 people in our Discord.
Right. So within our Discord, with it being, for me, mostly popular within our Discord, I understand that, boom, that's where people are going to go. I've seen more conversation for like Hell's Paradise on like TikTok or even Facebook. I've seen more conversation about Oshinoko. I have seen no conversation. I saw more conversation Jack of all trades than I've seen for season Sentenced to Be a Hero. So in my opinion, it was not to be mentioned in too much of a negative light, because I don't even know if anybody's really watching it. They might be thinking the same exact thing we're thinking, which, mind you,
to be fair, most people in our Discord is like TK, Kilo, and most people are thinking the same thing we are about Sentenced to Be a Hero. Is very mediocre, like very mediocre. And some for even say Polo, raise my hand. If you're listening on a podcast form, I say that it's slop. I say that it's below mid, to be honest. But like, I do think while it is popular in some groups, it isn't talked about as much, strangely enough. And it's just, I don't know. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by that. Speaking of, did you finish it?
Sentenced to Be a Hero?
Mm-hmm.
I did finish it.
Okay.
Do you want me to give thoughts on it?
Is that all for us as far as winter changes goes? Podcast.
The only other thing I was going to say is that the addition of making a 5 anime list and going back and watching.
Yeah.
I think that needs to stay a cornerstone.
Set the stone with the back. Relog the backlog.
Yes, that needs to be a cornerstone. We need to make that a thing, and
I agree.
Keep it a thing. I plan on officially starting that because I did.
Because I didn't need it.
I did finish an anime that I did not think I was going to finish. That was not in that list. Mm-hmm. I think I told Polo that
you did.
And I actually have some very interesting thoughts on that, but I don't know if this is the place for it right now. But I do like the set in stone with the 5 go back and rewatch.
Okay. All right. We'll keep that in then. We'll keep that in. All right. Now, with that being said, let's talk about some of the shows that wrapped this season. Starting with Sentenced to Be a Hero, you finished it. I do plan on finishing it because I was at 7. I might as well get to 12. What are your thoughts?
You were lied to. The very last sentence of the final episode was, "You are sentenced to be a hero."
I think he was talking about in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Kilo.
It was cool. Extremely predictable.
Because they tell you before it happens, so of course it's predictable.
But even when they didn't tell you, like, it just seemed a little foreshadowy heavy. Cool. All right. People use it as a plot device. We know what it is. It's just a little foreshadowy heavy. It's formulaic. We know what's coming. Is it nice to look at? Yeah. It even sounds nice, but it is very formulaic. For season 2, I'm probably not gonna watch it though. Yeah. Just to be completely honest, I kind of would rather devote my time to something else. I think before today I was like 4 episodes behind on Sentenced to Be a Hero.
Okay. So we were about the same, roughly.
I had to go back and watch it, and it was cool. I'm not gonna say it was a necessarily hard watch. I just was, I was bored.
Yeah.
They iterate a lot. a lot of things and they reiterate on top of the iteration. So it was cool. I'm not mad at it, and I think if you enjoyed it, you should enjoy it for what you enjoy it for. It's just not for me.
Not no fucking absolute cinema, I'll tell you that much anyway. Moving on. What about okay, you didn't finish that. So let me go to You and I Are the Polar Opposites.
Yes, go ahead.
You and I Are the Polar Opposites has been probably top 1/2. It's like a 1A and 1B kind of situation for me this season with two particular shows, and that's with Journal with Witch and You Are the Polar Opposites. I digress. You Are the Polar Opposites is something special. Now, I do want to state this. I did see one thing because I had to go on the site that shall not be named. I hate fucking even mentioning fucking Twitter nowadays, but I had to go on Twitter because that's the only place I can get updates on, like, you know, what's going on with the production of things. Because the dub was also, I think, delayed or released late again. So I'm like, damn, I don't want to be 2 weeks behind because I know that this is the episode that we're going to record that wrapped up this particular season. So I go on Twitter and I see fucking just a cesspool of shit per usual. And it's people doxing the fucking the dub voice director because they're like, oh, I don't need this dub voice director to fucking translate a midlife crisis in this episode. I digress. They're just talking ridiculously crazy about the dub being completely different than the sub. So what they did, okay, let me back up.
For You and I Are Polar Opposites?
For You and I Are the Polar Opposites. What they did for You and I Are the Polar Opposites is they said the same things in different ways. Okay? There's a term for that. The term escapes my brain exactly right now. Automatopoeia? Is that what it is? No. Whatever. They said the same things in different ways. So the subbed said something different. The dubbed worded it. It said the same things, but they did it differently. They put a quote unquote Gen Z middle schooler flair to it. And I thought that was the best part about the show. Watching it dubbed was so much more entertaining than watching it subbed because it catered to that silly Gen Z fun, but still moved the story forward, still told the exact same story that we're getting in the sub because I watched quite a few episodes subbed as well. Right. And I'm like, damn, this is fucking cool. Like, this is the first time in a show where the subbed and dubbed are vastly different. They're vastly, vastly different. Does it take away from the vastly different nature of it? No, it enhances it because it makes it Americanizes it a bit with the slang that they use and the abbreviations that they use. It was so fucking cool watching You and I Are Polar Opposites dubbed. And when I watched the sub for the last 2 episodes, I even told my wife this because she loved the show as well, that it was less entertaining. It was disconnected. It was disconnecting and less fun as it was when I'm watching it dubbed. Now I told my wife because she tried to watch it dubbed. She just doesn't do dub, period. And I told her, I'm like, and she was like, well, yeah, when I watched it, I didn't understand anything they were saying. Oh, well, that's because you're a little older. But sorry, she's gonna be mad I did that. But
what?
But just the slang they used was so just cool to see because it was just a fun twist on it. And I enjoyed absolutely all of it. Even the actors themselves did a hell of a job when it came to, like, you know, emoting and making it feel fun to watch as it was. So last 2 I watched subbed. They were fine. I feel like they would have been better for me dubbed because it would have been a more entertaining factor of it. But it was still one of the best shows this season for sure. It has an 82% on any list, which is great.
Yes. I would say it's a very deserving show. The only reason I didn't finish it just because I wanted to finish everything else a little bit sooner. And I got I think literally like 2 episodes behind.
It's going to be a treat for you. So
I'm fine with that. I entirely agree. It's one of the best episodes or best shows I've seen this season. That wasn't like a returning show or anything. Can I mention a surprise show that was really good?
Oh, absolutely.
Kaya-chan Isn't Scary.
Okay.
Now, this is it's supposed to be a little spooky show about a little girl. The lore is actually wildly deep in this show. I did watch it with like my wife and kids and stuff, and it was far more interesting than I actually expected it to be. I don't even know what the rating for this show is, but it was actually a much better watch than I expected, regardless of the goofiness of it. And by goofiness, it didn't have too much goofiness in it. What it had more of was just like this unsettling undertone. So it did have moments that actually genuinely felt a little bit chilling in comparison to a lot of other, like, you watch the Juni Ito stuff, and it's supposed to be spooky or creepy or whatever. This has a lot more color and brightness to it, but still, feels a little skin crawly sometimes.
Can I mention something about that? You know what?
Go ahead.
I find horror, because it's so hard to do horror in anime. And Polo don't do scary, but I will try horror anime because it just don't be scary. Something about unsettling is more scary than it trying to be scary. So for instance, I always talk about Another being one of the best horror ones because it's very much more so unsettling than it is horror scary, even though it still has the horror beats to it. But I unironically find unsettling to be in the Monogatari series. A lot of unsettling moments in there that is more scary than probably the quote unquote scariest anime. So this one you just piqued my interest with saying the word unsettling, because that is more interesting than scary, quote unquote.
Yeah, because the what was supposed to be scary, more of the story. The family has a lot going on, but it's when you really get into the lore of the family that comes, I'm gonna say about episode 3 and further, right? You start to get a little bit more about lore about the family. It actually becomes one of those shows that once they start dropping those little tidbits of information, the hints and stuff, it's building up, it's getting better and better, and then you're like, I'm happy that this came about the way it is, and then it's still, you're like, this is a happy ending. I'm like, oh man, okay, that was a good ending, happy ending, and then it still ends pretty creepily. Like you thought everything was cool, and it wasn't. But it was a good show. It was actually very good for what it was. I think 70%, 69% is very worth it.
So there was a particular show that we mentioned last week, and I just want to take this time to not only promote our Discord, make sure you join our Discord. A lot of great conversations over in the forum threads there. Great stuff from our community. Just to mention this real quick, I think we talked about it last week because it finished last week. The Noble Reincarnation Born Blessed. So yes. So the Noble Reincarnation we talked about last week. So I'm not going to go too much in detail. I want to take this time to promote our Discord. You guys, if you're not in our Discord, join the Discord, because in the thread for the Noble Reincarnation is the thread of Crystal binge watching this show, because she said we talked about it a lot, so she had to see what it was about. It is the most sequentially fun thing to read. Every time she does it, it's great. But this time it was just so much fun. Like I want to get her to narrate her threads one day, or just do a recording and we just play it on the show and just talk about it, because it is so much fun watching her talk about this show in that thread. Because her reactions to everything per episode beats. It's so much fun to read. So she's one of our Patreon supporters. Join our Discord and just check out that thread in particular. It is hilarious. It is so funny. So I just wanted to give that a little quick shout out. So now to go to a show that I watched that I know you didn't. It's Chained Soldier Season 2. Now, when I tell you, I'm not going to go into spoilers here. I know this is the second season, but I want Tel to watch it eventually. But albeit this show is quite ridiculous when it comes to its reward. Everybody knows what I'm talking about when I talk about Chained Soldiers and the reward. Okay. It is, don't watch it around the kids. Don't watch it. Hell, my wife has no problem with any of it at all. But the problem is I started to feel uncomfortable when she was like, we be laying next to me and this shit just pop up on the screen, because it is fucking ridiculously vulgar. I say all that to say, though, the story, the characters, the character design, the animation, the fights were so spectacular. Unbelievable. Again, what this show does well that fucking Shonen just gets wrong is the sense of dread. How are we going to win? Let's just say they're fighting a god, and how are you going to win? They introduce more gods. How are you going to win? It gives you that sense of what the fuck is going to, how? And then you see the way they work together. It's a cool fucking show outside of the reward. Because the reward that shit gets hentai level ridiculous sometimes. And I don't care about the whole showing boobies or whatever. That part don't bother me. Sorry if you listen to this podcast with kids. But I don't care about none of that. The fights, the character design blows my fucking mind. There's this character with long yellow hair, and she's like, she represents the gang culture. But the way they represent her character is so fucking dope because she's the sweetest, nicest girl you would see as a character that's supposed to portray this tough. She's supposed to be like the Tokyo Revengers dude. What's the Mike from Tokyo Revengers? She's supposed to be like him essentially, but she's so fucking kind and caring and gives it her all. And the fight was just so spectacular, and the way she does things is cool. Like it just
gangbang.
Yeah, but she's a gangbang. Like she does things for her gang. Like it's just so good. Like the show is Chain Soldiers is very, very good outside of that. If they took away that reward, I promise you this would be in the stratosphere as far as conversation goes when it comes to like just talking. But it's just full of fucking fan service that it can't go to the stratosphere like it should. Because that, and I don't mind ecchi. I Polo don't mind ecchi. But I don't want that in this show. Only because that's what's stopping it from being even more popular.
Bro said they took it a little too far.
Straight up. So watch it on your phone in the corner somewhere. Or get that Galaxy with the tinting screen.
Right. Oh my goodness. MF Ghosts.
Oh my God. Yeah. I hate the way they end their seasons though.
And that's literally what I wanted to start with. I hate how the show ends.
Every single time they do this.
It grinds my gears. Because I'm like, we're in the heat of the race, bro.
I think Initial D did that too, didn't it?
They just like halfway through. They're halfway through the race. And I'm watching it. I was like, when they said, as soon as they said they're halfway through, I checked the time. It was like 11 minutes. I'm like, we're not finishing this damn race. This is next season race.
And they did that the previous seasons into this season.
We're going to be 6 episodes of the next season. It's going to be done with the race finally. And I'm like, I
gotta give him leeway though, too, because the next season is the final season. So we gotta give him leeway for that.
And that's not even the conversation I'm trying to have, right? I'm not taking nothing away from them too much with that, because I already kind of expected this is how they end their seasons. They want you to come back on that high note. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Already in production. I mean, they're literally in the middle of a race. They're not going to just stop production right there, right?
Straight up.
But here's the thing. Was it good? It was enjoyable to watch.
It was so good.
Kanata is popping off. I love that he's doing his thing.
Yep.
I even like the little 4-way little rush we got going on right now.
That shit was so cool. The way they used it. We're not gonna spoil it, but let's just say that the way they used drift was just not drift. Drag was so. Right. It's just so good. It just makes me want to play a racing game again.
And just to end it with the little conversation off of MF Ghost, the marriage question, little jokey jokes in there. I like how they even play the little romance in there.
They do. They drop like it. They seed it well. Character growth is in there.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
I
like it.
I'm gonna say this: the major difference between Initial D and MF Ghost is there's a little bit more characterization with Kanata than it is with main character A and Initial D. I could Fujiwara. That's what his name. It's a lot of more main character growth. Now it is some main character growth in Initial D. Don't get me wrong, because when he loses, it's like you feel it. But MF Ghost is so good. It's so good. Underrated as hell.
Yeah.
Or is it? Because they keep getting more seasons, so it must be. Let me see.
I mean, 77%, 76%.
Okay, yeah, it's not bad. I get what I've been using as another parameter, and I hate to say it, but
the Crunchyroll.
Yes. I want to know how many.
It's got to get a lot of views on Crunchyroll.
Let's see here. 27K. So yeah, if it's around above 25K, I say decent amount. And that has 5 stars, 27K. So yeah, no, that's pretty good.
So technically, it's doing even better.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, it's doing good, but it's not doing Hell's Paradise good, which is 243,000.
I mean, but you saw what Hell's Paradise did this season.
Yes, man, and I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be able to talk about that this week because I missed the last episode. Unfortunately.
So, on my opinion on Hell's Paradise, this final episode, we're gonna talk about that later when Polo finishes it.
Please, I would love to have a full deep dive conversation on that because again, this season has been, bar none, some of the best shonen I've ever watched.
I actually, and you know what though, I forgot that you said you didn't watch Hell's Paradise.
Yeah,
because Hell's Paradise final episode was finale worthy. It was like episode of the week worthy.
And it probably would have been if I wasn't for not watching it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you, they popped off on the sound design on this episode too. It's like it's definitely felt like they put a little extra budget on there. It was like, just go ahead and sprinkle some money in there. Give us some good sound.
It's crazy because Map already been doing anything all season with JJK and that.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it wasn't already really good sound. I'm saying they just sprinkled a little
Even
extra
more.
budget on
Yeah. It's funny. So tune into the Midnight Light, Midnight Heart. I still have 2 episodes to go of that. I know you finished it. What are your overall thoughts of it without any spoilers?
I would return for a season 2. The ending wasn't as captivating as I would have liked, but it did leave it open for continuation.
Oh, damn.
But I say that I don't say that to say that it wasn't good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it definitely is still good, but it doesn't leave you with the idea of an actual direction. It just leaves you with like there was something resolved for everybody, but there's no
progress
direction specifically
for somebody else. I see.
Right. So it's not like with the whole point of the show being finding out which girl has done something. I don't feel that we've progressed. I feel like maybe I can isolate one, but I still got 3 other girls that are in contingency for who could be the podcaster.
Yeah. Like I said, when I watched the dub seemingly gave it away. Now, and at this particular point where I am, which is 2 episodes before the finale, it still feels like that is the case in its entirety, that it is the one that they use, the same voice actress that they use for the one voice. I'm not gonna go into any details there, but so it kind of sucks that I kind of like learned that way, if that is the case. But again, I don't know. You said there's a continuation, so we shall see. All right, Hell Mode finished. You know what? And Hell Mode is already coming back this year in July. So shout out to our Discord for always dropping any new news we get. Literally, our Discord is like the source of fucking anime news because I
appreciate it so much.
Me too, dude. Me too. Make sure y'all check the Anime Talk channel, and I think TCB accidentally put a few things in general, but check the Anime Talk channel on our Discord. You can see all the upcoming news without having to go to that cesspool that is Twitter on anime. Shout out to y'all for being there and fighting through that place for us and putting it in our Discord, because y'all know we ain't gonna be in that motherfucker. But Hell Mode already got a season 2 for July, and I'm happy that it did, because that's what I think this is exactly what it needed. While it's not the most budget high show, and I would even consider it kind of slop for the things we talked about in the pre-show. It is the most enjoyable slop this season, though.
It was very enjoyable for sure.
Because the other slop, I don't care 2 fucks of a shit about. But this one, I could not wait to watch every episode every week, because
I agree.
Seeing the minimal growth that we got was still fun.
It wasn't just the growth. I'm not gonna say it's an understatement, but hear me out. When we talk about the growth in this show, bro was trying, mixing and matching different things, seeing what works, how we can plan this, and then we see it in action.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like there was nothing that was utilized in this show that went unused, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he used every tool that he could, and it all came back full circle, so to speak. I can see why we might call it slop, but definitely I actually genuinely just like enjoy this show, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
and it is okay to enjoy slop.
Yeah. I'm here for season 2. Easy.
Me too. Like it's in the anticipated list. Not most, but it's in the anticipated list that I'm looking forward to it more myself. Dude, it absolutely like dog shit on the animation front though. It's quite sad.
I'm gonna say this one. Reincarnated as the Dragon Hatchling.
Okay.
I enjoyed this one actually a lot too.
Okay.
Same concept, not necessarily good. Still very slop. But I could see this being a much better binge because of how easy and quick it is to watch. And not having to wait episode to episode.
Mm-hmm.
I could actually see this getting really good. They played the concept of the slime that could absorb powers, and that being a final boss, so to speak, in this show.
Interesting.
So I do think that while it is very much slop territory, another one that if you just binging it, it might be extremely easy to go ahead and knock out. Yeah, is Canada Dry?
Well, it's from Canada, but it's called Clearly Canada Sparkling Water.
That's not meant Clearly Canada. I was actually, don't even worry about it. I was looking at that recently.
Very, very good water. Yeah, and then to stay in a slop category real quick, there is a cute girl in the hero's party, so I tried to confess. I mean, it's so fucking hard for me to watch this show. It is so hard to watch. I know it's easy slop for some in our community. Shout out to our producer Fear. But this one is rough. I turned it on this what episode I was on? Did I turn it on? Let me see. I turned it on today. Got about 5 minutes into episode 9. I was like, I don't want to do this.
I think I'm literally on the same episode.
And I turned it off. I am going to finish it though, because I'm right there. But it was extremely,
on the cusp. You might as well finish it.
Yeah, on the cusp. I just was not feeling it at all. So there's that.
Okay. Easygoing territory defense by the Optimistic Lord.
Oh, that didn't finish last week?
Did it finish last week?
I can't remember. Either way, we can talk about it.
Great show.
Oh my God. Fantastic.
I'm not calling that one slop. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. You can't.
That show.
It's well animated. Story well told.
Thoroughly enjoyable. I love the route they take with how he develops his land. And even his personality traits.
Unique enough.
Knowing his position in the world and being like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yes.
I really like it. I really do like this show. This is one that come season 2, I'm here. It will be on the list. It will be watched. New
shows wise, and I think we mentioned this last week because I think we talked about it. New shows wise, this is top probably 5. Shows wise. It has a level of like, what is it, endearingness to it. Yep, endearingness, polish.
But it's not just the MC. It's his, his fiance. It's his sword fighting trainer. It's his magic trainer. It's everybody that he collects within his group. I'm just like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, and they gravitate towards him because they know he's a good dude. And and sometimes that's enough. That is enough. It's a great show. Highly recommend easy going territory defense. Very, very good show. Okay. So now I think that wraps up the newer shows. Now we can go into some of these ones where we can go into consistent spoilers, except for Hell's Paradise, and I'm so sorry about that.
In the Clearly Moonlit Dusk?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's end with that before we get into this. Now, in the Clear Moonlit Dusk, okay, if you don't mind me starting, because I wanted to go on her.
Yeah, I thought. He said, "Oh, here we go."
I wanted to go on a little rant, and this is going to contain spoilers for In the Clear Moonlit Dusk. So if you haven't watched this, no, it could be, but it's going for In the Clear Moonlit Dusk. The show is spectacular. It's very, very good. This is also top 5 this season as well. There is a part of it though that irked me so bad, and I have to say it's the last 2 or 3 episodes. Maybe it was the last 3. Definitely the last 2. And hear me out. This is going to be spoilers for In the Clear Moonlit Dusk. So if you haven't watched it, come back later.
Here we go.
So there's a point in this show where they're together and they're happy. Boom. Love that part. They go to that festival. It's a very endearing, cute confession situation, and they get together and they're a couple. Then there's a situation to where, I erased it out of my mind so fast. So there's a situation where she is at work with her coworker. I say all that to say there's a situation that makes the main character so self-centered and so selfish that it irritated me so very much. Now, I would say it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because her selfish self-centeredness is something you don't see in these kind of anime. I watch a lot of slice of life. You don't ever see that. You see timid and shy and standoffish and whatever. But she became self-centered and selfish because she does something that blew my fucking mind. Like when she decided, spoiler alert again, when she decided to go help her coworker find a gift for her sister, when she promised her boyfriend that she was going to spend time whenever she had time, knowing damn well she ain't had time all summer to just spend with him, when he requested that of her and she said yes. So for you to take that one time, like the one freedom time that you get to spend with your coworker instead of with your boyfriend, then lead to this situation to where he confesses to you, put you in a fucked up situation to where you should have told him after he did it, like right after he did it, to say, hey, this guy confessed to me. I turned him down right away. This is the situation. She don't do that. He finds out on his own from that guy. He tells her like, why, there's something happening between you and him. And she's like, well, how did you know? And then he says, I went with my best friend. And then she seems to get mad at him about him going with his childhood friend to her job. He was hopefully trying to see her too.
That's what he said.
And he was trying. He texted her, said, hey, I was here. You knew he was there. You didn't come down to see him. That's already bad. That's on you. Then after he says, like, what happened between you, and she explains the situation, he's like, well, you have to understand how I feel. And he mentions like, look, this is how it looks because of the way you look at him. It got me a little jealous. He's being upfront and completely honest about that. Then she gets upset at him for telling him, okay? She gets upset for him telling her that you probably would have chose him first if I didn't choose you, or if I didn't.
At least that's how it feels. That's what he said.
That's how it feels, which he's stating how he feels in the situation that you put him in, okay? Which is normal in a fucking relationship. And it irritated me so much that she got up and stormed off. Why are you mad at him for him telling you how he feels from what it looked like from his point of view? You clarify the situation, you comfort him, and you make him feel like, no, that's not the case because of this. You reassure. That's what you do in a relationship. And I know they're high school kids. Okay. And I know I shouldn't expect that. But with the thought of what she did to him about going out, not telling her boyfriend that she was going out with him on her only day off that she had, it just made me hate her. I didn't like her.
Okay. So to play devil's advocate,
you could try. But I'm a demon.
She ain't never shut up. She has never been in a situation like this. Guys typically are not approaching her to be in a relationship with her like that, right?
Sure.
So in this situation, while I agree entirely, especially about at least not letting your boyfriend know when he asked specifically, when you have time, spend time with me.
And that counteracts your entire, whatever you're about to finish, counteracts all of that.
That's not even what I'm trying to go for.
No, I'm just saying.
What I'm saying is her walking off and getting upset about what happened, right? I think, yes, that's BS, because she should have also said, she should have been upfront. Now, even if you're upfront though, right, it doesn't counteract the fact that you still gonna feel something sometimes when people tell you something, right? Now, her reaction is garbage because it's like, yeah, you already put him in a situation where he got to hear from another guy that y'all had any kind of experience, right?
Yep. I
get that. But, she also came back after stating she thought about it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, why would you make it about you after you do something so... Like, he should have been the one storming off because he's like, yo, why the fuck would the only time you have off... Now, mind you, it would feel a lot better to me as a viewer if it wasn't so direct after, right? So, for example, what I mean by direct after is it was literally bop, bop, bop. It was literally sequential in which it happened. He says, hey, if you do get free time, can you make time for me so we can spend time together, just us two as a couple? I'm paraphrasing, but that's roughly what he said, almost to a T. And she says, yes, I'll do exactly that if I get time. Paraphrasing, but that's almost exactly what she said to a T. Next fucking scene, she gets the time off. She says, maybe I should hit up Senpai. He says, hey, are you free to do this? Instead of saying, no, you know what? I promised my boyfriend that we were going to do something on the only time that I have free. You say, oh yeah, let's go do that, because you are too nervous to contact your boyfriend and say, hey, let's go do something. So you go and do that. Now, mind you, this is a fucking date and a half. Like, if you ever fucking thought about a date, this is a date and a half. Okay, they walking in the sunset and getting crepes together. Like, this is all typical, atypical, usual shit when it comes to relationships in a slice of life show. So I'm fucking fuming at this point. I'm like, why the fuck would she do this? Like, this is the most bizarre thing. Right. I was hoping that he saw her out, and that would have been a better kind of story thread in my personal opinion. But he didn't. He confessed. She pauses. Why are you shocked? Instead of right away saying, hey, no, you got to go chase him down. I understand you're probably shocked that another boy is interested in you, or whatever the case may be. Regardless. When she stopped and was fucking thinking about it, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was getting even more irritated. And then gradually she goes to turn him down. When she turns him down, I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit better about that, but you should have been doing that in the first place. But at least, hey, now you could tell your boyfriend that this all happened. She doesn't. And then his best friend comes. Yep, and his best friend comes, and then this is the next episode. His best friend comes, and blah blah blah. She was fine, and she was literally just fodder for the 2 seconds that she was in the episode. But
she was there for that moment.
Yep, and even still, he tried to deny her even coming in. He even said to his best friend, like, "Hey, you got to get out of here. I got a girlfriend now." And she was like, "What was that? Why are you telling me this? Like, it matters now." And then he started to show his best friend, his childhood friend, like, I like this girl. So he's doing all the right things that she didn't do for her coworker with this, his childhood best friend. So it's like, it's just so much. It's so ironic, polar opposites that it's frustrating. It was frustrating.
Here's my thought process on it, is that they were trying in these slice of life shows, right? Mind you, most guys are in real life are not going to be more mature than the girls they're dating, even if they're the same age. Like, if they're in high school, the guys are all over the place. Yeah. The girls might be thinking more mature about how, like, okay, I need to be a little bit more possibly direct, or I'm only dating this guy or something like that. You know what I mean? Whereas guys tend to be a little bit more free. Right. They demonstrate this guy as a little bit more of a it reminds me of a more experience, more culture.
That's very true.
It's similar to the one where the girl was deaf.
Mm-hmm. It's a silent voice.
Not a silent. Is that a silent voice? Mm-hmm. The other slice of life.
Yeah, the movie, right?
No, not the movie. The one with she was dating the other guy in school,
and the guy was a bully, and he bullied her, and he felt bad about it. That's a silent voice.
No, I'm not thinking about a silent voice. It's a
sign of affection. Right, sign of affection. Sign of affection.
Yeah. Sign of affection. Yeah, it's a sign of affection. That one. It reminds me of that.
The opposite. Wait. No, same. It's the same, because he's mature too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because he was mature, but it was because of his experiences. He was more cultured. He was well traveled. That kind of thing.
Touché.
This guy has money. He's well traveled, so he was more mature.
Absolutely.
So she was the infantilized person in this specific moment, right? So her reactions being more childlike, more fleeting and running away, rather he was more direct and telling her exactly what he was experiencing, exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
Which is not I'm not gonna say it's uncommon, but it's not the most common interaction in real life with guys, right?
You're absolutely right.
So I think that the writer they probably portray her more timid, more cat-like in that situation to be that way.
Yeah, but that's why it also felt weird when she ran away, and like it's instead of just saying what she said in her mind.
The prince. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not the princess. So that's what I'm saying, I guess.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
like they even demonstrated when she got the like chocolates from the girl or the little gift from the girl at the point. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is what it was like before I was messing with the prince. Now, you know, this is a little abnormal. So she has to think about why is she, you know, not acting in a manner in which she's more, I guess, reasonable.
Yeah. Reasonable is the perfect word. That is the word you're looking for, because she was being unreasonable in every stretch of the word. It was taxing, man. It was those last 2 episodes was very taxing on me, because it was just so. It was like let's give a conflict so we can wrap it up with this scene. That's what it gave.
That's what I was gonna say. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, do you feel like the show was just trying to find some kind of fabricated issue
conflict, yep,
to put here? And while the show is it's fabricated, it's a show, right?
Yeah,
they made this show, but you felt like it was an unrealistic fabricated issue that they just kind of threw some kind of monkey wrench in the show just real quick.
Exactly. And while still very good show, it was that point deteriorated the appreciation I have for the MC. I didn't like her after that. I still don't like her.
No recovery.
No recovery. And it's no recovery because it was none mentioned like, hey, I apologize for, you know, standing you up to go out with him. Like, and it's not like they didn't mention that. Like the prince mentioned the fact that, you know, you were with him instead of with me. Like it was mentioned, like he knew, like that felt
more than once.
Yeah, it felt bad to him. He didn't like that shit. So like you didn't know, you don't apologize for that, but he's doing everything he can to make up for saying that. I thought, okay, this is what I feel. I felt like if it wasn't for me, it would have been you with him. That's all he said. It wasn't like it. Yes, it does suck to hear something like that when you feel like I'm not even that type of person. If you just say I'm not that type of person, you could still be angry about him saying that. No issue, no qualms with you being angry about that, because it's the wrong thing to say. But if you're she's not. If you're an adult, you have the conversation. Well, that's not the type of person I am, because I have no idea what I look like when I'm with him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that. I just feel like I'm a normal person that's been like this forever. So
mind you, he's not on my mind like that, right?
Exactly.
You could say that.
You could say that, no problem, while still being upset. But then tapering your feelings and telling him like, look, I should have spent more time with you to not put myself in that situation in the first place, because all of that would have been avoided. So it was just frustrating to see her become so self-centered and selfish that it took away a little bit, but I would say it took away a little bit from me liking her. It didn't take away from me liking the show. Does that make sense?
Right.
So
right.
I really wanted to vent about that last week, but I forgot about it. But this time I had to let it. I had to air it all out. And so, sorry about the step-by-step part of the show. I just had to make sure y'all understood from my brain, from my perspective, how insane this looked, because it just felt insane to me.
It did feel uncomfortable, brother. It felt uncomfortable.
Okay, so now we can move on to spoiler talks for the shows with the second seasons and whatnot. So this is Hell's Paradise. No, not Hell's Paradise, because I didn't watch it yet. It's Frieren. This is Jujutsu Kaisen. This is I guess that's it, huh? Oh, Fire Force and Oshinoko.
Well, Fire Force didn't get its final episode yet.
Oh, I'm bugging. Oshinoko. Let's start off with. You want to start off with Frieren? Because that's easy.
Yeah,
it's perfection, man. It's quality work. It's not even much to spoil this, so I didn't even have to kick everybody out. But I mean, it's just more of the same, but more progressive. Does that make sense? Like we're progressing further.
Yeah. So more of the same in Frieren just means that perfection, like you said.
Yeah.
It's a continued perfection. With Frieren, this is what Frieren elicits in me. I love magic, right? And all the intricacies and simplicities that it has. Because it shows a lot of that, right?
Yes, indeed.
It also shows that I don't want to live in a world with magic.
Well put.
No, brother. They in the north, I'm gonna stay in the south.
As far south as possible.
They are tripping. But
fighting demons, literally.
It also shows the beauty of the world. You know what I mean? How like there's this like goal to where even though you want to push humanity forward, there's a preservation goal to preserve some of what humanity sees, preserve the sites. And that's a lot of what the show is, preserving the sites, preserving the memories. Absolutely. And the beauty of the show. But that's what the whole fight against the demon lord, demon king was.
Yep.
Was to preserve the world from what the demon king's army and demon king was doing. The show just drops so much lore constantly, but it's like such a, I feel like they could dump it all on you. And it wouldn't be too much. It's just the way they deliver it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's the way they deliver it, because they deliver it with here's some context, and then they go through the action. And the action of them going through it is like lore providing while it happens. Yeah. It's the best way to do it. And I say this because I want to draw a similarity to My Hero Academia, but it's not the same because the lore is like, it feels lived in.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like half baked. It doesn't feel new. The lore in the world feel lived in. And I'm not sure if it's just like the similarities to it, the resemblance of it, but it feels so much more authentic, even though I know this is a fantasy world.
You want to know what's ironic? I think what you're trying to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong. I think you mean to say bigger. The world feels bigger. Because
nah, bro. Like, I'm saying authentic. You know what I mean? This feels like if, well, it doesn't, like, and I say authentic because it doesn't feel like it feels like they're not just drawing from, and I get what like this magic system, like, it doesn't feel like they're drawing this story from anything other than like I said, years and years of actual writing. And that's probably
exactly
what it
is. I mean by bigger. Yeah.
It feels like there's so much, and that, I mean, yes, but I feel like the bigger is lending to the authenticity of how it feels when they deliver these moments. It feels emotional because of the authenticity of the show. It feels better because of the bigness of everything that happened in the background, the thousands of years in the past, right?
Yeah, well,
that Frieren has lived.
What I mean by bigger, I don't mean necessarily physically bigger. I mean bigger as far as just expansive of characterization of other characters, whether that's tribes or you know, kingdoms or side characters or people that she's met on her journey with Himmel, and then you see those flashbacks. Like it's expanded to this huge thing, and I think just because of the time that she spent in this world, thousands and thousands of years, it feels fucking massive. It reminds me of like Overlord, how big the world, like it's a massive world when it comes to like, not again, distance included, but the characters we meet along the way, what the characters are also doing when they're not, you know, discussing with Frieren, for example, with what they showed at the very, very end of this episode with Duncan. It's big, man. It's ginormous. Even when it came to meeting, the other guy that was sent out to kill that demon during that fight with, you know, Stark, Frieren, Fern, even though Frieren didn't even partake in that fight because she just wanted Fern to do it. It's all of that is huge. It's all so massive. But what I also love, and this is about to sound crazy, throughout the entire series, my one favorite part is when she was reading Himmel's journal. Mm-hmm. And the best part about that is, and this was before the fisherman said what he said, when she was reading that book, and again, because the show is so big, something like this small is so vastly important. When she cracked that smile, it felt, and mind you, this is a fucking animation, it felt genuine in comparison to her other smiles, which are genuine, but they're still fleeting. They're not as verbose as this smile was when she was reading that journal. There was a different, I guess, drawing when it came to her face when she was reading Himmel's journal, or was she smiling at Fern, or when she's smiling at what Stark said, or when she's reminiscing about something that happened. When she was reading that journal, it was a fucking, like, this massive smile that just made me, it choked me up a little bit, because it made me feel her appreciation for her friends. And it, you know, they did a little flashback thing, and we see all of it and see the way Himmel was looking at her, and how you can interpret that reading being that, and it was so fucking beautiful that I damn near cried just at that small part. I fucking love how massive this world is. It's so big, and it again, when I say big, I also meant in the same way you do is it being so authentic, so fucking real and lived in and full of life, and just it's a special show. It is definitely 10 out of 10.
You know, when I think of that authenticity, I just want to say this. It feels, when I say authenticity as well, it feels as authentic as like what Grimgar, Fantasy, and Ash felt to me.
Oh my God, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes,
it's the depth in every detail. That's what it feels. That's what I mean by like authenticity. It is big. It is depth wise. The thousands of years. The fact that there are other heroes, not just Himmel. And that they have their own stories and legacies left behind because they were heroes to somebody. This show is amazing, bro.
It's incredible.
Y'all already know we gassing it because it's gas.
It's fucking perfect, man. It's so great. It's so great. Let's move on to Jujutsu Kaisen. Very interesting. Well, for one, last episode was spectacular. I do have to say it was the best episode this season for me, particularly. Even though that again
of the JK or just in general.
No,
because you said the best.
Yeah, of JJK.
Okay.
Particularly maybe this season. Outside of that rotoscope scene with Yuji, that scene was still one of my favorites I've ever witnessed because it was just so creative and cool. But this episode was done so fucking well when it came to the fight. Like understanding that Okatsu is just as strong as Gojo. Like they need to. People don't get that, and that fucking baffles me in this world. But the way it was just everything was executed. The difference between him and Gojo is that he can get hit. And that's literally the only difference. And it was just special to see the way he moved and watching him. And reading it, you do not get this when you read it at all, by the way. I just want to say the difference between reading this scene and watching it was substantially different because it was just so fucking just bing, bop, boom, pop, bing, bop, bam, you know?
Yeah.
Literally
This is a much better watch than a read, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I was literally thinking that going into this because, like, normally I don't really care that much. This is a much better watch than read, specifically for this moment.
Yeah.
And
I think this is where I stopped, by the way, because of this shit right here. After that fight, when I read it, I'm not fucking reading this shit no more. I want to watch it because it seemed cool in the manga, but it was like when she was pulling the world in the manga, it didn't have the same effect as when she was doing it in the show. That shit was crazy. Sorry.
But what also makes it amazing is that, like, and this is one of the things that JJK also does well, is like I said, and this is always a big thing for me, is how the thought process works in the show. And can you see it happening?
Yeah.
Like, realizing that they can't actually, is it that they can't actually see Rika?
No, they can.
Okay, because I was under the impression that... Huh?
They can see her specifically, curse energy and all that.
Well, I was saying they couldn't see her until you put the ring on.
Right, yeah. Sorry.
He could still utilize some of her powers.
Yes, that's exactly right.
They couldn't see her unless he had the ring on. Was when she fully manifested.
Yeah.
Because he was using her powers and stuff like that. But
that's true.
The way that everything happened, the thought process, because everybody is on their toes, and that's what makes it so cool. Is nobody knows the full extent of
anybody else's. Yes, power. Man. Yes. That was
like, and I'm even thinking about because he's like, why is she explaining her power to me? All for her to explain it, but she didn't tell you every detail of it. She didn't tell you she was about to grab the city by the carpet and flip the cement like it was the surface. She didn't tell you she was about to do that.
She didn't tell you she was about to turn this bitch into Inception, man.
I'm telling you,
dude, it was so fucking cool to watch, dude. And then I was wondering how this was going to look in here compared to the manga. The part when he when he threw the beam up. In the manga, you can see him do it, right? But in the show, you forget he does it. And it just fucking come crashing down. I'm like, this is the coolest shit I've
he
ever
did
seen.
it. Time ran out, and they just started throwing it. It's like, all right, cool, time's up. They just throwing hands. I'm like, oh, they okay, you knucking and bucking. I see you.
That shit was incredible, man.
And at the perfect time, 5 minutes later or a few minutes later, beautiful timing. And it was the way he held him. It was like, all right, it's here. I got you.
Mm-hmm. I also love
he's a G.
Yeah, I also love the way that Roach broke up the domain expansion. Mm-hmm. That was fucking clean. I'm like, dude, I done forgot all this shit. But when it happened, I'm like, yo, that's fucking wild. Because the narrator's like, yep. But when this happened, when you have a third uninvited guest, and then it just shatters. I'm like, oh, this shit fucking. JJK is good. It's real good.
Mind you, he still got bodied. Like he did invite him. He invited himself in because he was not going down like that.
Nope. Which it's slightly disappointing, but that's again what makes JJK so good because they have no qualms with jumping you. Okay, they have no qualms with jumping you, and they have no qualms with not letting you see anybody or everybody's powers.
Right.
Like they was.
Mind you, he's a curse, so of course they want to get him out of there. So they don't want to wait around for a curse to come back stronger.
Straight up. Good stuff. And then was the last but certainly not least, Oshinoko, we will carry on. Kolioko, This was this Oshinoko has the potential to be top 10 for me with how good this episode was. Now, was this the episode? Yeah, this was the episode. I messaged Tel after I watched it because I watched it the day it came out, like day, minute, hour that it came out. I messaged Tel in the Discord of that thread and told him that this is the most I've ever cried since the first time I watched Clannad. I fucking snot-balled, full-on tears. Like the hardest I've cried since I've gotten married. I have not cried that hard since that. And I was fucking boo-hooing, dude. Especially when she finds out that the doctor is her brother. That shit hurt me. Hurt me so bad. But not only that, it was before that hurt me so bad. It was the mother. Her trying to determine if her mother loved her or not. And the way she was going through the past and just seeing her suffer. I'm getting choked up thinking about it right now. It hurt me so fucking bad. I was crying so hard, Till. Like crying, bro. Like undeniably crying.
What they do in this show, and I think we talked about this literally before the podcast, the sense of dread. They so eloquently, so calmly and nicely set that dread in your face.
Yeah.
And let you sit with it. Let you sit with all that sadness, all that buildup for the characters, right? We've watched these characters. We watched Ruby do things that she would not normally do.
Yeah.
Out of pure despair in her heart, right?
Yep.
To get to this point. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was so relieved. Because I didn't know it was going to happen this episode.
Me either. I had no
And when it happened, I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting here watching this episode and I'm like rubbing my head. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yep. Dude,
finally. And it's the explanation. It's the, I did all of this for this.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you, even with all of that, I know Aqua is still running game. Like, and I'm not saying that moment was him running game because I do think that was genuine. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But Aqua is pulling these strings because you know what time it is for him.
Yep. And that's scary. Next season is the final season. And it's nerve-wracking because we don't know the outcome. And that what makes
we don't know the outcome. Of course we don't.
That what makes this watching experience so special. But dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm first the story of her thinking her mom doesn't love her, etc. Cried, boohoo. Mm-hmm. Then when she
going to the door,
Then when she told Aqua, and Aqua was telling her like the situation, and he was saying all the stuff he said when he was the doctor, and she was just so happy. Cried again. Boom, smacked me. Like, oh, I'm so happy now. Boom. After that happens, I'm so invested. I'm so deep into it. The president of Strawberry Productions sees her ex-husband. I'm like, and then goes into her backstory about everything that she went through to get to where she at, and She's worried if the kids are doing well, or am I doing this too much? Am I working her too much? She cares so much. And I even felt that. Didn't cry for that one, but I was still hurt when she was over her husband, saying like, we were supposed to do this together. I'm like, damn, like, yeah, like what? Like you just left her by herself? I didn't know they were married.
Yeah, mind you, he was still working, but he was doing it like, behind the scenes. It was like, you still left her.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You still left, bro.
Just thinking about that alone, she has no idea where her husband is. I'm like, that hurts me so much. And to see her cry and break down, I'm like, ugh. But she got her get back, and I love that for her too. It was just everything was perfection.
Right. But we do know what kind of time the husband was on, because he was looking for, them too.
The same situation. Right. But your wife, though?
You ain't explained nothing. You just went on.
Come on, man. That's your partner.
Right. It's supposed to be. But the like I said, this show just does that sense of dread so well. But they hit us with that light just as much. You know what I mean? Yeah. Aqua and Ruby. Aqua just being like, look, I'm not stopping her from doing nothing. And Ruby being like, oh, this all. And I'm just like, you know what, though? Hear me out. You think about it, and it's like, yeah, she was depressed. She had all of that.
She thought he was gone. Up. Yeah.
And this is the happiest she has been since she was a kid, bro.
Yeah.
Like, she's probably never been more happy in her life.
That's a fact.
Just and in this moment, she quite literally just can't contain it. And I'm like, you know what? Normally I'd be like, this is weird, but I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. You have been so in a dark spot that this is crazy. And everybody else being salty, you're just gonna have to be salty with it. You're gonna have to be salty, man. Cause I love this I love this moment.
Yes.
Because it's I feel like I know that what's coming next is gonna be dark.
Yeah.
But this moment is what's needed. This light and this brief moment of air is needed for the next part that's about to get shaky.
Now hear me out. Call it a gut check. What if the kid with the crows, or I think the demon of it all, what if that is I
was thinking the same shit. I was thinking the same thing when I was watching it, bro.
What if that's I, like, hey, I'm gonna help you get this revenge for me, but I know it ain't gonna be easy or, clean.
Yeah, I was literally thinking the same thing. I'm not lying to you. I was thinking the same exact thing. She
even mentioned, like, why would she know that I isn't already, unless she is? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like weirdly shifted.
I thought, I could be true. I thought this was literally just a figment of his imagination.
Apparently not. She's tangible, real enough to say that she has a government ID and all that for her to become the child actor in this movie.
But but she never said the government ID part. She said this vessel, I came from a real thing, I came from a thing. But it's like, is she gonna fill this role? Because if that happens, I'm like, okay, so this is a thing.
Yeah.
This is a real person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they know more than anybody else would know about all of this stuff.
Yeah, like, okay, so what is the point of you doing what you're doing, watching both
It's gotta be
Aqua and Ruby, and the guy that, killed or kills. So, I don't know, man.
It's got to be right?
That's my thought. That's my thought. We could be completely wrong. It could be the culmination of a wish that I had, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But what made me think this is when she said, what she said about playing your role. And then
his fate.
Yep, his fate or whatever. When she started talking about stuff like that, I then my mind then rewind to when she was doing the documentary with the director, and her face and her expressions changed, and she said, I want to record this for Aqua and Ruby. And she was just like talking about being fake and being real, and she was showing her kind of her real self and how it was monotone, kind of like this little girl is. almost exactly that kind of tonal kind of character, kind of made me think that they were the same. So I don't know. I don't know if that's right. I'm not gonna look it up. I'll find out next season, which it being
we'll see soon. Did they give us an announcement date or a date for that?
Usually our Discord would. I haven't seen it yet, so it probably isn't one out yet. Because you know damn well they'll put it in there first thing smoke, especially for Oshinoko. Yeah, I think that's a wrap for episode 344. I'm at Polo Board Fly on all social media.
I'm at King Taliano on all social media.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. And as always, Mike, check.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu Waifu.